Welcome into Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. I'm Jeffrey Cooperstein. A loaded show for you guys today. The Mavericks started training camp in Las Vegas, and we have a couple of news and notes to get to here. The Mavs did have dinner at owner Miriam Adelson's house on Sunday night, or I guess on Monday night, the day before they began training camp, and it sounded like it was a great time. That's the first time that they had ever been to their house out in Las Vegas. And the Mavs had 2 days on Tuesday and today. They are off Thursday with one practice on Friday before they head back to Dallas to start the NBA preseason. But the big news of the day here, unfortunate news, Luka Doncic sustains a calf contusion. Here's Shams Charania with the report. Mavericks say Luka Doncic suffered a left calf contusion and will be re-evaluated in 1 week. And then Mark Stein had this to add. He said the hit that caused the calf injury, league sources tell the Stein line, occurred in a weekend workout in Dallas before the Mavericks arrived in Las Vegas for training camp. So obviously unfortunate circumstances here. It sounds like he's going to be out for at least a week, probably misses the first preseason game. Hopefully this is nothing serious and the Mavs are just being extra precautionary. They knew it happened clearly going into media day and training camp, considering it happened in Dallas over the weekend. Not the best news. I don't think it's the end of the world by any means, but hopefully Luka is ready to go. As long as he's ready to go to play 35-plus minutes on October 24th against Victor and the Spurs, that's really all that matters. Show some love to Luka, though. Type 77 down in the comments. Hopefully he gets well soon. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show, by the way. So when you get hit with a YouTube ad break here in just a couple of seconds, go on down there and type your 77s to show our boy Luka some love. Other guys who are not fully ready, who didn't participate fully in practice. Maxi, Kleber, and Kessler Edwards. Now, Jason Kidd didn't go into specifics with these. He just said the Mavs had a pretty intense practice. They wanted to get up and down and work up a sweat. The only two guys that weren't able to do so were Edwards and Kleber. He didn't offer specifics, so we don't really know what the issues are. They might be injuries. They might just be working back from previous stuff they had. We know Maxi had the issue in the postseason last year that significantly limited him. So they missed the first day of practice. We'll see what comes out here of day two. If anything happens, you can follow me on Twitter at Jeff_Coop27, and I'll put those updates out there for you. But are they going to start on this preseason schedule here? The Mavs take on the Grizzlies in just 5 days, where they play on October 7th at home at the American Airlines Center, followed by the Jazz. They have one preseason road game against the Clippers on the 14th, rounded out with the Bucks at home on the 17th. Preseason's creeping up quick, so you have 5 days. I think it's pretty clear that Luka is going to miss at least that first, maybe even second preseason game. I think the first action we could see him in the preseason is that Clippers game on the 14th. And the same goes probably with Kleber and Edwards. If they're not practicing right now, I would wager to say that they are not going to be available for that game on the 7th against the Grizzlies. I hope they can play in preseason, especially in the case of Kleber and Edwards, who are fighting for spots in the rotation, and in Edwards' case, fighting for, you could say, one of the last roster spots. I know he's on a two-way right now, but if the Mavs really, really like what they see, they could promote him to the active roster for that final spot. Now, that's extremely unlikely, but Edwards needs to make a good first impression here. I think he has a little something in him that the Mavs don't really have, and he could give you some minutes on a night where you might need it in the dog days of the NBA season. So hopefully those guys can get back soon, and hopefully they can get fully healthy. If you want more practice reports from training camp here this week in Las Vegas, go ahead and hit that thumbs up icon for me. We're trying to get to 200 likes on today's show. I would really appreciate it if you guys could go on down there and hit that thumbs up icon. Another thing to get to, Naji Marshall getting some love from Klay Thompson. Klay met with reporters after their session yesterday, and he had this to say about Naji Marshall. He said he was really excited. Naji Marshall played incredible. The guy was making floaters, pull-ups. I thought he played really well. I was impressed with Naji. He scored a couple of times on me. His jumper was fluid, and his mid-range was nice. So that's really nice to see. I'm very interested to see how he fits into this rotation. I think he's going to be one of the first couple of guys off the bench, along with Quentin Grimes and Daniel Gafford. He's going to be asked to do a lot for this Mavericks team. Naji, I think he's going to be sort of a little hybrid. I think he's going to make some plays for this Mavericks team. He's going to be asked to handle the ball a little bit. Now, he only averaged 1.9 assists per game last year with the New Orleans Pelicans, but all the reports when the Mavericks signed him were that he's an underrated playmaker and can kind of create his own shot and make some things happen on the offensive end. So it wouldn't shock me at all to see him having some part of the offense and the creation part of it, trying to take the ball out of Luka and Kyrie's hands in that second unit. And I think Jason Kidd, frankly, is going to ask a lot of Naji Marshall. He's going to guard the opposing team's best player when he's on the floor. He's going to be asked to make some plays, on the offensive end. He's going to be asked to knock down threes and score at multiple levels. I think they have high expectations for him, and Naji has some shoes to fill, especially with how good Derrick Jones Jr. played last year. He obviously departed and went to the Los Angeles Clippers. So this is no small feat for Marshall, but it looks like he's ready to take on the challenge and be with the contender that is the Dallas Mavericks. We'll get to the rest of the practice report here in just a moment, but had to hook you guys up courtesy of our friends at Fanatics. We have Klay Thompson jerseys available. Go to chatsports.com/Klay to get yours today. We have ones in blue, we have white, and we have a couple of other colors as well. It's still weird seeing Klay wear that number 31. I think it should be retired for Jason Terry, but if you want to go get your Klay Thompson number 31 Dallas Mavericks jersey, do it with our friends at Fanatics. Go to chatsports.com/Klay. That link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. Dereck Lively, is he adding to his bag a little bit? Jason Kidd said that he may have added a little post-up move to his game this offseason. Said he looked really good, was finishing with both the right and the left hand. And, man, if Lively can add a post-up game in addition to a respectable three-point shot, we saw the one in the finals. If he can add those, it just makes the Mavericks offense so much more difficult to stop. You just have to add another wrinkle. You already have Klay Thompson, who's one of the best shooters of all time. You have Luka, who's going to dribble, drive, and get past his defender every single time. And then you have Kyrie, who can do all of that as well. If you add another offensive weapon in Dereck Lively, who was already one of the best finishers in the NBA last year at over 70%, he can catch those lobs. If he can, in addition, add the post-up game in threes, you're looking at a guy who can all of a sudden maybe score 10 to 12 points a night, where he would really take the next step in his sophomore season. I don't anticipate any sophomore slump whatsoever from Lively, and I think he's only going to play a bigger and bigger part of this team as time goes on. Do you guys think Dereck Lively is a top 10 center in the NBA? I was kind of thinking about this earlier, and there are a lot of good centers. You take a look at the likes of Jokic and Embiid and Cat and all that. Is Lively in that discussion? I think it's borderline. I don't know. Is he top 10? I think top 10 is a little more fair. So let me know down in the comments. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Is Dereck Lively a top 10 center in the NBA? And to wrap things up here, this is just Klay Thompson on his first day of officially being part of the Dallas Mavericks. He said, it feels like transferring schools, but it's a feeling you want to embrace because it's so rare to get these butterflies as a player. And Klay's right. There are only so many firsts that you can get. You get your first time stepping on the court. You get your first time to the All-Star game. You get your first championship. This is the first time Klay has changed teams in his NBA career. So it's definitely something that he's fully embraced. And I think in general, he has fully embraced being a Maverick. I loved seeing his pictures in the summer of him wearing the Dirk Nowitzki throwback jerseys during his workouts. And I think he's just fully embraced this city and this fan base. And I'm very excited to see him in a Mavericks uniform. I just can't wait. 2 more weeks, October 24th. And by the way, before we end this show, Luka looks pretty skinny to me. I know we were all making fun of him about how he looked with Slovenia and how he looked in the offseason at Goran Dragic's thing. He looks fine. It was never a problem. People love to freak out on Twitter. Luka Doncic is in shape. Now he's hurt with the calf injury, which I'm much more concerned about than his physique. But hopefully that gets all sorted out and Luka is full go by the start of the season. And if you guys want to be full go with us, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for 30,000 subscribers on the channel. Myself and Harrison, we greatly appreciate it. We give you the latest Mavericks news, rumors, and analysis 100% free. We'll be doing some watch parties as well during the regular season, so I cannot wait. Stay subscribed and locked in, and we'll keep you guys up to date if we hear anything on Luka or anything else regarding the Mavericks.